everyone. This is probably my last interview at Beauty Creek Campground, and I happen to be lucky enough to meet a geologist who specializes in the geology of Idaho. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you work for a university?
Yeah, the University of Massachusetts at Lowell.
Wow. And how long have you, what got you interested in geology?
It was probably traveling around to like national parks when I was a kid. So I grew up in New Jersey in sort of just standard suburbs, but we did travel a lot in the summer. So like we went on a trip to Yellowstone when I was probably like 5, and we like went up to the Rocky Coast in Maine, and like collecting rocks and stuff like that got me into it. But I was also really interested in astronomy too, and it was sort of like a war between those two topics as far as what I wanted to do with my life.
Right.
Until I got to college when I sort of settled on geo.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of gold in Idaho, I've sold.
Yeah, there's a ton of ores in Idaho. There's been gold mining since the sort of, I guess, the latter half of the 1800s. And this valley we're in, or this valley that's right over there, the Silver Valley, is just a tremendous mineral area, both silver, but also especially lead mining has been huge there over the last 100 or so years, I guess.
Okay. And so you're with your wife and you're just having some fun, huh?
Work fun, yeah, I guess.
Work fun?
Yeah.
Get away from COVID?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get out here?
That was like 4 days, I guess.
4 days?
Maybe 5.
And one of my interviews was with a guy named Justin a couple of days ago, and he is a survivalist. So that was interesting to talk to that guy. He's been to 70 of our national forests.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
How many have you been to so far?
I've been to a lot, certainly. I don't count them though.
Yeah.
But certainly, I don't know that I would be able to survive out there, with 2 sticks or whatever.
Yeah, it's there's a talent to it, obviously, and knowing what to eat and what not to eat, yeah. Right? But this is a fantastic campground. I'm having a hell of a time meeting people. I cooked bear's chili for everyone last week. That was pretty cool. Invited 4 of the campsites over because I love to cook and of course I love to eat, But so what's your destination?
Pullman, which is in eastern Washington. That's where I went to school for my PhD.
Uh-huh.
So I'm actually going to the university there to do some lab work while I'm out here.
What will you work on your lab work?
It's kind of complicated, but it has to do with isotopes of the rare element hafnium.
Oh.
So they basically can tell you sort of where. It has to do with like basically trying to figure out how different types of rocks form, I guess is the simplest way to put it, especially rocks that form from magmas like, volcanic rocks, and they're granites that essentially underlie volcanoes, or that used to underlie volcanoes. So if you look at these isotopes in small minerals called zircons, which we can also date with the uranium-lead radioactive decay scheme, it tells you a lot about sort of how they form. So that's sort of the kind of stuff.
I don't know if this is related to geology, but I was in your campsite last week, and I was in the middle of the night, and a meteorite came down, or shooting star, within 100 feet of me. And at the end of its journey, it was just a quick, obviously a half a second, and it went. So I heard it end its journey.
So you actually heard it?
I actually heard it.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And then people were calling me crazy, and then I told a few other people, and they actually heard. I was told that you can hear at the end of its journey.
The larger ones, the ones that like really light up the sky, they can produce sounds. They can produce actually large shock waves. Like you might have remembered, maybe 8 years ago in Russia, there was that fireball that was visible in daylight that shattered all these windows.
Right.
So yeah, that does happen. And I mean, the amazing thing about those is that like most of the shooting stars you see at night, the ones that are sort of like just average brightness, they're like literally like sand grain sized particles.
Right.
They're really tiny.
That's what this one probably was. Yeah. But it ended its journey with a little bit of a puff, which was I was just thrilled. And of course, the ISS goes overhead. If you have an ISS tracker, you can see it, and it looks like an airplane. It looks that close.
Yeah. I've seen. I don't know if it was actually the ISS or Mir like many years ago, before Mir went down. Like I used to pay more attention to like satellites and stuff like that.
Okay, astronomy.
Yeah.
So you're tossing and turning between the two still,
Well, I
probably.
mean, I pretty much landed firmly on
Yeah,
Geo,
that's
so
where you make your money, but you probably still have interest in
yeah,
Mars, going to Mars, and all those fantastic things that we're doing.
yeah.
Well, get back to your wife. I want to thank you for the. We did learn something about halfium. Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah.
Halfium. See, I
Halfium.
like to learn something every day, and as does my audience, I'm sure. Have a fantastic trip.
Oh, yeah, you too.
Bye bye.
Right.
Everybody, my last interview in Beauty Creek Campground. This little critter was just caught by animal control. What was the disposition of this guy, you think?
Well, come winter time, he or she, I'm guessing it might be a hen actually, probably wouldn't have lasted through the winter.
Oh,
Probably would have been fine up until then with all the bugs and things they probably could have found, and there's still water nearby. But come winter time, it would have been touch and go.
so what are the most, tell me about some of the other catches you've made lately.
Oh, well, our agency has helped rescue a llama that was stuck in a bunch of mud.
Out here, a llama?
Yeah, not too far from here, actually.
Really?
And, you know, we catch dogs that are, you know, loose,
Yeah.
or sometimes injured cats, and we try to keep cows, even if they're in open range, from being on busy roadways so
Okay.
they don't get hit.
Okay.
And, you know, horses, sheep, goats, pigs. Not recently have I had to deal with pigs, but there's been quite a few calls in the past.
Are you
With
from this
pigs.
area?
I am. I grew up here.
You grew up here. So you have a great gig.
I enjoy it. I get to meet a lot of nice people and some fun animals.
Yeah. So what is going to happen to this? Let's go.
Found a home for her already.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah. So, we'll.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she is really
She's
pretty.
gorgeous.
So we just kind of hold on to them for a week, and if someone reports a missing animal, then we'll return them to the owner. But
I thought it was a rooster, but it's not, right?
I don't believe it's a rooster. I think it's just a hen.
A hen.
So
And you caught her without the net.
without a
How'd
net,
you do that?
Well, it just takes patience. She's actually pretty friendly. I mean, she's used to people, obviously, or we wouldn't have been able to get so close.
Right, right.
So.
Oh, she has something to say.
I think she sounds like she had a pretty stressful evening.
Yeah.
Trying to hide up in the trees.
That is fantastic. Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Overpopulated cities around the world have caused people to become a greedy, selfish, and litigious society. Would you like to be happier, live longer, never be forgotten, and help make the world a kinder, more civil place? It's actually easier than you think. Every day you're asked, how are you? Instead of saying good, say I am fantastic. It will make you look better, feel great, and reduce your stress. Making the world a better place starts with each person. Please join the Be Fantastic movement today. What you want to be, you can be. Be fantastic.
I'm not Dr. Fantastic.